this contrast, I think, should cause us to consider our ways. It should cause you to consider your ways, because each and every one of us, each and every day, each and every moment of the day, have decisions that we make. And with every decision that you make, here's what's happening. You're walking, or maybe standing, or maybe sitting in the seat of sinners. Or you're going to take with each step, when the fork comes in the road, the path that leads to life, or you're going to take a step on the path that leads to destruction. And God doesn't want you to take the path that leads to destruction. Why would he want that? And so he's warning us. Choose the path that leads to life. And then it ends by saying this in verse 5 and 6. He says, therefore, all this to say, therefore, these verses are there for a reason. Therefore, the wicked will not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord knows the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked will what? Perish. It'll be like the frog in the boiling pot of water. Croaking. Death. Destruction. Two groups of people, the wicked and the righteous. Which group do you want to be a part of, right? In the end, the Bible clearly tells us there's going to be a judgment. The verse just said there's going to be a judgment. And there's going to be a judgment for both the righteous and the unrighteous. And keep in mind, the only thing that makes you and I righteous if you're a follower of Christ is who? Jesus. The only difference between you and the world, the only difference between me and you and the world that doesn't know Jesus is Jesus. Jesus is our righteousness, but the Bible says that both groups are going to be judged. And one of those groups is going to be able to stand, and the other group is going to fall. So here's my point, and ultimately I think it's the point of the entire chapter of Psalm 1. If you know that day is coming, if you know that there will be a day at the end of your days when judgment will come, when you stand before God, and either be declared righteous or wicked, and it's only based off of what Jesus did for you and your decision to follow him with each decision you made in your life. If you know that day is coming, why not live today for that day? Why not with every step, rather than slowing down, walking, rather than standing and enjoying the vicinity of sin, rather than sitting down, why not with each step recognize that you're on the path that leads to life or death? Why not choose to follow Jesus? Why not live today with that day in mind? Recognize the fork in the road. Recognize the fork in the road and choose the path less traveled. Choose the path that walks in his ways. Choose the path that leads to life. Don't choose the path, especially teenagers, don't choose the path that everybody else is going down. Don't choose the path that everyone else is doing. That's usually the path that leads to life, to death. Choose the path, rather, that leads to life. That years later, when you start sowing seed as a young person, and in your 20s and in your 30s, that you're sowing seed in the ground, that when you're 60, 70, 80 years old, you'll be proud of the seed that you sowed. And you won't reap the destruction of years and years of walking down your own path. That's what God's saying here.